If you are watching the stream now, we'll be there. We'll be in qualifying in 10 minutes from now. 10 minutes. See you then. Sorry, there's a small delay. Hopefully it won't be too long, and we're hoping to get ready in approximately, well, hopefully tops 5 minutes. as finally after the delay, we are coming into qualifying one, Q1, as we wait for everybody to load in to the qualifying session, and I'll see you down at the track. As down at the pit wall, we see all of the drivers, 15 this time, as the top drivers from last time were Sus, Dark Assault, Panda, Max Murphy1, who did have an amazing start after being P15 before the league reset. But we'll just wait for a driver to come out. As we see the Aston Martin of Lucky coming out, we believe. Yes, he does. First person to come out. Oh no, there's two Williams coming out as well. Of, I believe it's Ice Snow, and who else? Is it Omar? Omar, as we see, Philip goes a bit off the track. We're going to follow him for a little bit, as he is the first person to go, as we see, on the outlap. As some other people now follow suit, such as the Alpha Tauri and the Aston Martin, the first person we saw. As we just now see the Alfa Romeo trying to keep his tyres in a perfect temperature, trying not to wear them out. As he comes through the old pit straight, where in real life Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton collided. And there's yellow flags in sector 1, might be some people moving out the way, might be a crash. Let's see what it was. Probably someone just slowing, which we believe is true. Lucky is the only person on the mediums. Well, you know, we'll follow the Mercedes of Dark Assault, one of the quickest I've seen. As we see an Alpha Tauri moving out of the way, trying to keep his tyres warm. As he comes down the old pit straight where we saw somebody else come here, we believe, and well, his teammate was also on an outlap. As most people are coming out, the only people not coming out are Max Murphy1, MFNCO, Philip, the Ferrari, and C1, all not coming out of the pits as Omar comes back into the pits. As Dark Assault, he's gonna probably go for the push lap. We're all on board for the push lap, as we see David go past there. If he goes for the lap, he is quite quick, so we'll see. Sus is ahead of him though, coming out first. We'll still follow Dark Assault. It goes onto the grass as he comes down through the final two corners of the Silverstone GP, as the first Alpha Tauri of the two start their lap. As Dark Assault starts his lap, now going extremely fast. As the only four people in the pits this time, still Max Murphy1, Omar, Philip, and C1 still. There's yellow flags in Sector 1 and Sector 3. And the number 42 Mercedes driver coming in, pushing in himself to try and get the quickest lap. It doesn't matter, as long as he can get through into Q1, into Q2, then he is fine. As he comes through into the old pit straight, into Cops in about 2 seconds, as the Formula 1 cars are quite quick. You see the Ferrari move out of the way, goes a bit wide, Dark Assault does. We don't know if he got a lap invalidation, as that Lucky gets the fastest lap on the mediums of a 1:29.1. As Dark Assault, DRS wide open. As we see a trainer cars, the Ferrari is using the back to warming his tyres up. As he comes through into the final turns, yellow flags in sector 3. Will that fault him? Probably not. As we see Dark Assault through the final corner. What lap will he get? Was it invalidated? No! It's a 1:28.6, beating Lucky's time. However, he is on the softs, and all he needs to do is get into Q2. As Max Murphy finally comes out on his outlap. Follow him now. Or start to follow him. As he goes past the Mercedes. As Panda gets a 1:27.9. So I got some like technical issue. And it's quickly decent. Setting up. Okay. Finally back. Yeah, so as we see Max Murphy 1 on the outlap. See the helmet design there. We're going to follow him probably for a push lap. Many people have set their lap times. The last one being in the hassle at 1:35. Lucky down in P5 now. And another person sets their lap, the Williams, setting the lap. Wait, 1:38. The worst lap as we see Max Murphy 1. Can he get rid of Panda's lead in Q1? Not like he needs to. All he needs to do is get high enough so he can get into Q2. The driver number of number 2 in the Red Bull. He's proven to be quick. Can he show it in Q1? As he comes down the old pitch grades, once again we see another driver come through here. As into Magensbeck is right after he goes through Cop's corner. Philip still in the pit lane as some of the faster people on the track. I haven't even seen it. FNCO getting a 1:28.0, pretty quick lap time, but hasn't offset Panda yet. As the Williams of ISNO pits. Now this is the Ferrari go very well. Oh, that's just a pit lane, never mind, excuse me. I thought he went wide. As Max Murphy goes through the final turns. Set. He doesn't set, must have been invalidated at some point. As he probably will go for a push lap this lap. As YTSX gets a 1:55. Not the best for him. But he knows he just has to get through, so he's not pushing himself too much. Now he's picked 5 people. 4 people have not set a lap. Is Max Murphy 1, Omar, Philip and Envidry Goman, as 2 of them are in the pits. As we see Max Murphy 1 finally going into the push lap, hoping he can go into the push lap. As we see him going into Magazine Beckett. We have 9 minutes and 11 seconds left of Q1. 4 people still not setting a lap time. YTX probably needs to improve. Panda still leading in Q1. Got the fastest time of all so far. As we go on board with Max Murphy 1 into the final corners of the track. As he sets a 1:28.9, not the quickest, not the slowest, pretty decent time for himself, as it will most definitely put him into Q2. Pretty good lap for starting one. And we see now we'll go on board with YTSX. That's C1 in the Alpine gets the fastest lap, offsetting Panda with 1:27.6, fastest lap of Q1 with 8 minutes to go. We'll follow YTSX, probably coming in this lap. He's going very slow, he's coming in this lap as we can see. We'll follow his teammate David. Oh, he looks like he's on his push lap, he's going past Maximum F1 who were following just before, he's over there. See him just behind him as well. We followed David into Maggots and Beckett's. Pretty nice through there, pretty clean. And he comes through into the final sector, we believe, as he has set a lap time, beating Maximum F1's lap time by only 22 seconds. A 22 hundredths of a second, sorry. As only 3 people now setting a lap, all 3 of them on the outlap. YTSX sets a better lap time of 1:29. David still hasn't beaten his lap. Probably going to start pushing now, try and improve. Probably doesn't need to improve. As he goes past the Haas of MVG Lemon, we're going to follow now, number 69. Here's a Haas driver today. Oh, he hits the wall! There's a collision with the wall for MVG Loma. That's not very good. He might have to pit for damage. There must be damage on the car there as he collides with the wall. That's terrible news for him. As now everyone has at least got a 1:30 has set a time. The top 3 being C1, Panda and FNCO. So as there's a retirement for a Ferrari. We don't know what's happening. He has retired from the qualifying session. We have no clue what's gone on with him. Don't know where he's come out, but he had quite a good time. Slotting himself in P4 if he didn't crash out. Terrible for him. Oh, there he is. We saw him back there. Look, if you see him in the background, he has crashed it, span it. He couldn't really do much there. He's out of the qualifying session with a very, very good lap. As we see Philip on the push lap, dude, MVG Lowman going out of the way of him. We're waiting for confirmation. Does he have damage or not? He doesn't pit, so he doesn't appear to have damage after the little tap with the wall. And Philip, that's who set a lap time of a 1:29.9, beating Duke Lohman's teammate. As the top 3 right now, again, not changing at C1, Panda and FNCO. Just close in behind for 1:28.03, and Lucky with 1:28.3. As you saw there, oh, FNCO's retired. FNCO has retired. Well, we don't know what's happened. Maybe you can see him like the Ferrari. Has he spun it or has he just retired? Does he think he's got a good enough lap time? As there's 4.5 minutes left of the session. MG Lowman setting the time, hopefully this lap. If that was invalidated, then he can't, obviously. He's one of the 3 people who haven't set a lap of himself, Omar and ISNO. 2 lap old softs. Can anyone offset C1's lead in Q1? Not like they need to, but can they do it? Can Jude get a good time in? He doesn't pit, so it looks like he is going to go for a lap as NSR joins finally, and it doesn't say, it must have been invalidated. He has to go for another lap. We'll check in with David. We'll check in with David here. as if he pushes good enough, he's pushing, I think, and she's letting off. He's on the curb quite a bit. He lets off just a little bit. We don't know if he's on a push lap. He's on 4 lap old soft. 3 minutes of the session remaining until Q2. And now we see him going into the final few turns as he comes into the chicane. Oh, he spun it! David has spun it. Not very good for him. Spins it on the last turn, well, last 2 turns. That's not good news for him. And has to avoid the curve for any underbody damage. As ISNO has set a lap of 1:29.8. MV man, is he going for another push lap? Is he pushing? That is the question. He looks like he seems to be. And he does set a lap this time of 1:29.3 in the top 10 this time. Yellow flags in all sectors, as Omar is the only person to not set a lap. 2 minutes left. He is in the Williams. Will he set his lap this time? 2 people out of Q1. No more than that. Omar on 3 lap old soft. Is he able to get a decent enough lap to beat a 1:35? That is the question. Oh, he goes a bit onto the grass. That's not very good for him. Can he at least set a lap? Yes, he can. It's not very good. It's a 1:32.7. We'll go on board with YTX. Slowing down. Definitely pitting this lap. Everyone else is pitted. Nobody needs to go out. As Philip retires. Is that a crash? We don't know. That's really offset him there. In sector 2 yellow flags. Must be Philip. Maybe we can see him on board with Omar. There's a green flag. Must have been behind him. We won't know what's happening to Philip. Must have had a spin. As there's not long until the end of the session. Everyone's pitting. Only 30 seconds. Everyone must just pit unless they know they're going out. All the front runners are all pitting, with David in P7 not in the pits. Yeah, probably going in. And YTSX also not in the pits, as we did see. He was very slow. Flags in sector 3. Might be someone moving out of the way. Might be a crash. We won't know yet. Was that YTX? No, that's David. He slowed. What happened to him? As everyone's in the pit lane. Only the Haas here. He's the last person on the track. The top 3 not changing since 8 minutes left. C1, Panda, and FNCO, who has retired from the session. As we see the Haas going across the line, not improving. Omar needing, as he's in the pits, he will finish, and David will finish in 2 seconds. Follow the YTSX AI until the session decides to finish itself off. As there you go, as the qualifying session finished. The top 3, top 5, not changing a bit since whenever. As we see 2 people out of the session with 2 decent enough laps of the Ferrari and Philip Lynch. As we see if there's any incidents There's a warning speeding in pit lane. Many invalidated times, many invalidated laps. And there was a DNF there, but many invalidated laps. I'll see you in Q2 in approximately a minute. And finally, into Q2. Only 15 minutes left of the session, as there's a McLaren coming out first. No, it's not, but we will follow the McLaren who we believe is coming out. There's the Aston Martin as well. Yes, the McLaren, as you can see, his mechanics signalling him to come out. Well, there's a Haas coming out as well. Many people are out. Marty takes first to be shown on the outlap, many people following suit. Come out from the tunnel of the pit lane as Philip Lynch leaves the session entirely. There's not much really going on now, just waiting for everyone to start a lap. Everyone needs to get into the top 10. 3 people can get knocked out this time, so there is actually something on the line this time. You see the McLaren coming through into the old pitch straight. Nothing much really happening, nothing entertaining for the viewers at home, as we'll just wait for some cars on the outlap to finish the outlap and start push lap and see who can go fastest in Q2. British Grand Prix having some historic resemblance in F1, obviously having the anniversary in 2020, and Lewis Hamilton winning on 3 tyres, which was very cool to see for the viewers in real life in 2020 as well. Obviously the Silverstone crash this year with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, as we see FNCO finally coming round the final corner, starting a push lap. We see yellow flags in sector 1. They seem to go away, so it must have been someone moving out the way. We'll follow on board with FNCO for a little bit of a longer period of time, as everyone obviously needs to get into the top 10 for the top 10 shootout, as everyone's out except for Omar. Omar is the only person not out yet. Almost full 12 people out as FNCO comes down the old pit straight into Cops. Pretty much the AlphaTauri scene moves out the way into Cops. There's not a spin. It looked like what might have been one, not a spin at all. Into Magnussen, it's 8th gear, into 7th, into 6th, 5th gear. DRS wide open as Dark Assault and thus the 2 Mercedes collide. We believe they're both out of the session. Must be in sector 1. What has happened? We were not following Mercedes. They must have collided to each other. As if only one person can get knocked out now. If everyone sets the lap, only one person can get knocked out. Oh, there was a 5-minute grid penalty. Envy Judo Man collision with Sauce as Lucky gets the fastest lap of Q2. YTSX was a 152. Oh dear. Oh my. What has happened? We need to know. We'll look at the race director. Was there a collision? the two Mercedes get terminal damage, and MG Lemon collides with Sauce, giving him the terminal damage, making him retire out of the race, the quali. 10 minutes to go. Into Cops, David does go. If one person retires, if everyone sets a lap, they're guaranteed to be in Q3, the top 10 shootout. As we follow David as he comes through Malcolm and Beckett. DRS wide open as ISNO and Max Murphy 01 set that Max Murphy 01 in P3 at the moment. Oh, as David goes a bit wide there. As we follow on a terrible camera, sorry about that for the viewers. As we'll follow Panda, a very strong contender for pole in Q3, if he makes it through, that is. He's a very, very strong contender, a very quick driver. He is known to be. As we'll follow him, and we believe he might be setting a lap now, unless it's been invalidated. Obviously Panda, one of the fastest in Q1, being P2 with C1 in P1 as Panda offsets his teammate. As we see the tyres now, Max Murphy 1 and Panda all on mediums, ISNO on mediums, David on the mediums, and the two Mercedes couldn't get a lap on the mediums, sadly for them. As we follow Omar in the Williams, coming through the final corners, and now the final corner probably to set his lap, and if it had not been invalidated, he does set the lap. 1:31, one of the slowest we've seen. As there's nobody really pushing right now. We'll follow Max Murphy 1, probably going very slow. Third gear, second gear. He most likely isn't pushing. He might be pushing genuinely to try and offset his teammate. No, he's stuck. He's staying in 7th gear. He's coming in this lap, or he's just staying out another lap. But he's not going to improve his time on this lap, as many people now have set their lap time. Top 3 being Lucky, FNCO and Panda, with Max Murphy 1 close behind. Another very good driver seen before. The two Red Bulls are looking very strong this season. So is the Alpine driver of C1 on the outlap. Very quick in Q1. Can he show it again in Q2? Will he show up? As he starts the lap, there's nothing really much happening. As he comes through the final corner, not the final corners, through into the DRS zone, not turning it on though. He's the only driver not to pit or be in the pits. And then we do low man, and the two Hassits come out for their outlaps now. 6 minutes to go of the Q2 session. FNCO, not FNCO, sorry. C1 most likely not going for a lap. The number 88, I think, Alpine driver, so very quick, but needs to set a lap if he wants to get into the top 10 shootout. As MG Lowman also needing to set a lap to get into the top 10 shootout. If they both don't set a lap, Sus gets into the top 10 shootout, which might be a very big surprise for him, as he has not utilised his tyres at all in Q2, maybe a little bit through Sector 1, but he has collided with his teammate. C1 starts another lap. We're going to follow him. 5 minutes to go. I'm going to follow C1, one of the quickest in Q1. Number 88, Alpine driver. Many people come out for the outlaps. 3 to be exact with C1 pushing. As long as he sets a lap, he is pretty much guaranteed to be into the top 10 shootout. Same goes with the 2 Hasses, as Omar's lap wasn't good enough. As you see, he's out for another outlap, going for another push lap. The Hasses will follow them after. We see C1 on the push lap. Comes into Cops. Lucky still with the greatest lap of all this time. 1:28.370 in the pits. The top 7 drivers are in the pits. As it's like 2 by 2. As you see, there's only 1 McLaren and 1 Aston Martin. The 2 Red Bulls are together. The 2 Aston Martins are together. And the 2 Williams are together. And if the 2 Mercedes, and if they were behind, if MVG Lohmann and GTSV set a lap, it'll be the Hasses together. It's pretty much 2 by 2. Yellow flags into Sector 1 as C1 comes final corner, setting the fastest lap, 1:27.6. Doesn't want to let himself up. As C1 retires, knowing he's done well enough to get into Q3. Brilliant lap from him. Faster out everyone on the track, 1:27.6. Although MVG Lohmann literally needing to set 1 lap. 1 lap only, as long as it's a 1:30. Not difficult to do. As his teammate pits with 3 minutes to go. Must have damage. As long as he sets a time, he must be through. And it's a good one at that. Getting P7 stolen away from YTSX. Very good lap to get himself into the top 10 shootout by the Haas driver at MVG Lohmann. We'll see Omar probably going in for a push lap, unless he's done it and has not improved at all. As we see, come through Cops. Into Maggott and Beckett. It's yellow flags in Sector 1. Yellow flags in Sector 1 and 2. Must be something to do with MVG Lohmann. Probably slowing, maybe that AlphaTauri or Williams. Teammates to Omar. And we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of the session before we get into Q3. Top 3 so far: C1, Lucky, and FNCO. Panda not needing to set another time, but could have improved maybe. As we see Omar, can he improve? That is the question. No, he cannot. But he knows well enough that it's good enough. If the Haas driver, or Haas if you like to call them, doesn't come out in I don't know 30 seconds, he definitely can't get. He's coming out now, which might be terrible for him, since the fastest lap, so 1:30s, 1:27 fastest one, is coming out on his outlap now. Might have been a terrible mistake for him. We'll follow him, seeing if he can set a lap. And he has to get around the track. He might set a lap. He most likely will set a lap. But there's 1 minute and 30 7 seconds to go. As he most likely can set a lap. But he has 1 shot to get into Q10 or Q3 and beat Omar to take him out of Q3. He's going to be very close, as YTSX not needing to set another lap, but he does, getting a 1:28.7. If ISNO and Omar and the Haas driver all improve their times, MVG Lohmann is out of Q2. As the Haas driver really needing to hurry himself up. Slow, very slow. He has damaged, and that's his quali over. 30 seconds left. Has one shot only. Maximo for one feeling he needs to improve. Can he improve? I'll follow. There's Maximo for one. We'll follow him as he is the quicker one out of the two drivers. Will he go for the push up? Doesn't need to. Could get it for the credit. Tries to beat the YTSX, try and get P5 back. Off of YTSX, obviously. Maximo for one on the new soft compound. Not even a lap old. As we see Maximo for one coming into Cops. Well, old pitch straight into Cops. As we'll find out what happened, or what the outcome will be in Q3. Can the Haas set a good enough time? That is the biggest question of today. Or will we be out? Omar also able to set a lap. YTSX pits. That means he is finished, not going to improve his time. Omar also finished, not improving his time. You see Maximo for one pitted, obviously not needing to do a lap. As we see GTSV needing to set a better time than a 1:31.5. Can he do it? That is the question. Yes, he can! He knocks Omar out in the dying moments of Q2. He just scrapes Q3 by the bottom of the barrel. Lucky for him. As we just waiting for Maximo for one to full on pit. 3, 2, 1, Q2 over. Yeah, as you see Omar Sus and Dark Assault out of the session. And Judo Man obviously having his time penalty for a collision with Sus. No one else having a group penalty, as Omar and ISNO do have invalidated laps, as there's not really much else to say other than a brilliant for the Haas getting into Q3. We'll be there in just a moment. In Q3 now, 12 minutes to go, only 10 drivers here. The rest of them obviously knocked out. The McLaren, FNCO, first out again. Or not, is that YTSX already out. Very speedy exits for him. See, that's the Martin safety car, beautiful car there. Out of the tunnel. You see all the flags. Number 13, Alpha Tauri. Now, after 12 minutes of Q3, who can set the best time? C1, FNCO, Panda, or the unlucky, or the favourites to set a good lap? As they were very, very quick. Maximo for one also very quick. Not needing to set another lap as you saw in the dying moments of Q2. But we don't talk about Q2 as we're in Q3. YTSX, always the first out, never the first to set a lap. Will that change? As we see YTSX coming through Maggots and Beckett. On the grass, he lets his teammate past, we believe. Or he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Or no, he does this time. Lets his teammate past. The trend continues. He's never the fastest. He's always the first out, never the first to set a lap. As almost everyone is out, only 3, the Hasses are unlucky. As there's not been any invalidations that I know of, as we follow YTS on his lap. Has to be a good one. Only 10 minutes left. It's a very short qualifying session, Q3. If you have any mechanical failures, that's terrible for you. As we see the Alpha Tauri, the 2 Alpha Tauris, who will set a quicker lap out of the 2 of them? We'll find out shortly as RTX comes through this turn with good pace. As many people are going for their lap into the old pitch straight. And we see him go into Cops, into Magnus Beckett sooner, rather than later. He wants it. As we see him coming through the final sector. Into the final few turns, as his teammates at the fast lap were 128 to 1, and YTX following shortly afterwards, a 128-2. Maximum for 1 down the old pitch straight into Cops sooner rather than I hope so. As C1 obviously being one of the quick drivers on the grid, assessing a fast lap. Panda with a 127.7 showing up in Q3 as FNCO. There's been very good laps in quick succession as FNCO overtakes Panda with a 127.6 as we were just congratulating Panda on his provisional pole lap. As now we see Max Murphy 1 in P6 at the moment, not saying a lap, so can he improve? Can he beat? He does improve, or he doesn't improve, he doesn't have to improve, as he beats YTX. We're gonna see only one person in the pits. We're gonna follow GTSV at the moment on his outlet. Not very much he's doing right now. We'll have to wait for him to come and set that. Might take a short while as C1 gets a grid penalty for collision with Panda. That is a serious blow for C1. As now we see the GT. Again, one of the people that are late to set a lap, only 4th, with ISNO GT, empty Jude Loman, and Lucky. 6 minutes to go of the session. We want to see what happens as we wait for the harsh driver. As C1 in the Alpine gets a group penalty for collision with Panda 2000 Junior. As maximum for 1 exceeded track limits a little wee bit. As now we'll follow GTSV coming through the final turn, coming in to start a push lap. And we've seen, sorry for the details, engineers. As we see, oh no! as we see the Haas on the medium tyres spin. Oh dear, that's really hurt him as he doesn't have much time. If he pits for damage, maybe some floorboard damage, he really won't have much time to set a lap. I don't know why he's on the medium, should have gone on to the soft. And we see David with a 128.0, does improve from a 128.1. FNCO, it goes to top 3, FNCO, Panda and C1 with a grid penalty, which means David and Max Murphy 1, MVG Lowman sets a lap of 129.5, the only person on the grid with a 129 so far. Yeah, not the best lap for him, as David will move into P3 at the moment, yellow flag from sector 1, nothing much happening most likely. As we follow the Haas driver coming into the final few turns, and as we see the Fanatec logo in the background as he comes through the final turns, Philip Lynch finally joins back. 4 minutes to go as he sets a lap of a 146.0. It was because of his spin. I wasn't a very good lap. Nonetheless, we're going to follow Lucky. Very, very quick driver he is. He's a very, very quick driver. Very nice. And he is going for a push lap. 3 minutes to go into Q3. 3.5. And then we'll go to the 5 red lights for the formation lap. As Lucky needing to set a lap quite quickly, so same with ISO. Everyone else has set one. As we see Lucky speeding it through into Cop's corner. Go on board with him. As he comes through Magnus and Beckett's quite nicely. Doesn't want to allow the force on to the last moment. And also very quick through there. As he does so nicely, Magnus and Beckett's. You see him coming through the final turns on board with him. As there's the pit lane which he most likely is not going into. He doesn't. Brakes very nicely. Very nice last few turns there. As the last turn, can he do a very good lap? He gets the fastest lap with a 127.4. We knew he was quick. And he gets rid of the provisional pole lap of FNCO. The only person not to set a lap is ISO not setting a lap. We don't think. Well, we don't think he'll have enough time. If he pits and goes out again, he won't have enough time. Not very good. C1 wanting to remove FNCO reclaims the provisional pole lap that he certainly deserves off of Lucky. With a 127.2. It's juggling between attempts for these two drivers. As we'll see, C1 with the penalty with a collision of Panda. Doesn't off-put him with a 127.0. Oh, as a half spin, ruining the lap. Can he go around for another one? It's highly, highly unlikely. A half spin there in the Alpine. Has to go for a quick one. ISO will not set a lap in Q3. As the top 3 being FNCO, Lucky and Panda. Max Murphy 1 on the outlap. We don't know many people now on the outlap. As David starts the lap, will go on board with Max Murphy 1 after. The Alpine, he cuts through across the grass. He just cuts every single corner. He's not happy with his penalty and he's not happy with the spin. He's not very happy as YTX 127.6. Very, very quick lap for the AlphaTauri, getting himself into P3. As C1 is not very happy with the decision at all. He can't set a lap, as we'll go with Max Murphy 1 trying to improve his time. Only P7, as his teammate has to get out of the way for him. Obviously Panda in the background. He knows he has a better lap, so he lets Max Murphy 1 past. I go on board with him. He tries to go as quickly as possible. Let's go as quick as 3 corners as he can. Can we see his teammate? That's Panda back there. They see he goes through. Oh, he goes on the grass. That may or may not have ruined Max Murphy 1's lap. We won't be very happy with that. As he tries to go as quickly as possible. Maybe he can improve. C1 retires. As Q3 ends. We're not very happy C1. And not very happy Max Murphy 1. Not improving. Panda pits. YTSX very slow. FNCO doesn't need to improve at all. No one's setting a lap. He can just pit. He doesn't pit as he just goes through the final turns. Can he improve himself? He doesn't need to. Just can he? No, he doesn't. He finishes the race. He finishes the quali. And Panda pits. YTSX finishes. Panda pitting. Not under the Norwegian flag. And 3, 2, 1, and that's Q3 over. We'll see you in the race in 2 minutes from now. Into the race formation lap. As you just see all the drivers. Some on the medium, some on the softs. And now everyone's back. Omar was already disqualified from the formation lap. As the grid goes, FNCO, Lucky, YTSX, Panda, David, Max Murphy 1, GT, Ithano, Omar, C1, Sus, Dark Assault, Envigiloman, It's HG, Philip, and NSR. Joining late, obviously NSR. having to start from the back of the grid. 16 drivers, 26 laps. Who will come out on top? We'll see after the formation lap finishes. The formation lap has been quite crazy. While I've not been talking, there's been a spinning AlphaTauri back there, 3 disqualifications, as the grid starts to reform now. As we see FNCO, the leader of the 26 laps so far. There's all the drivers back there. There's the Williams, there's the other Williams. As we see FNCO lining up first on the grid this time, and we'll just wait for all the grid to reform as we'll follow NSR, the last person on the grid, waiting for him to reform. As soon as he does, we can go through the 5 red lights in the Silverstone Grand Prix, as there seems to be somebody sideways. We don't know how that has happened. It's Philip Lynch somehow manages to put his car sideways on the formation lap. We are very confused on what's happened there. We are very confused on what's happened to Philip Lynch. Can the race start with him being there? He's parked in the middle of the track, meant to be behind him, but you don't. Can the race start? The race doesn't seem to be. Philip Lynch is stuck, according to what he's been saying. So the race cannot start at all. As Philip retires. Philip Lynch left the session. That's terrible news for him. It's very confusing. It's 5 red lights now. We missed it because of the black screen, but everyone has started. As we see FNCO sticking his P1 as Panda moves up to P3. As Maximum F01, what has happened to him? He's moved severely far down. As we'll follow some of the lead drivers. Oh, there's been a crash! Big crash! The 2 teammates collide as there's a spinning AlphaTauri on YTX. Virtual safety car has been deployed. David completely takes YTX out as Isono gets a 5-place grid penalty, 5-place penalty for collision with Sus. But what was David doing? As YTSX now just fully ruined his race, and he just can't drive now. That is terrible news for YTSX. We'll follow FNCO form during the virtual safety car, and we'll just see what happens from here. That's terrible news for all of the AlphaTauri though. Spinning out, getting hit by your own teammate. He won't be very happy with that. He'll definitely complain to AlphaTauri's team board with that. But the virtual safety car continues as there can't be a fastest lap set. Panda moves up. That's terrible news for YTSX. As Panda moves up, everyone just moves up in the grid one place. As we see FNCO, the McLaren driver, as David gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Most likely deserved after the collision with YTSX. Terrible, terrible stuff for him. And there's yellow flags instead of one. Oh god, he spun it. The Haas, who luckily got into Q3 after a last-ditch effort, spins it. See YTSX leave the pit lane, follow FNCO from into cops. There's no more virtual safety car, so everyone can start racing again. As GT had a 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings. Terrible stuff from him. As Philip overtakes an SR. As we are going to see FNCO finally setting one of the fastest laps after the VSC ends. Darksol and Soft switch places, ISO and Max Murph switch places. As David goes a bit far down, after probably doing his drive-through, we'll get confirmation on that he is. And Sus, believe he's also doing a drive-through penalty. No, he pits. Sus pits, damage? There is damage for Sus. As Philip Lynch gets a 5-second penalty. We'll see all the penalties now. As there's a 3-second, 5-second, 5-second, 3-second. I'll give some viewers at home. There's another virtual safety car. Inventory Loman's out! What has happened? We need to know what happened to Inventory Loman. I'll follow David. As there's a full course safety car. Because Inventory Loman's crashed. We'll try and find him. We find the safety car back there. We'll try and find Inventory Loman's crashed out car. As David and Sus go past him, Philip Lynch. But there's a full course safety car. That's very not good for Inventory Loman. The Haas out of the section. As I'm just trying to find some confirmation. As C1 gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As the full course safety car will be the safety car as it's waiting for the leader. As there's the safety car, FNCO has to slow himself down severely. Many people have penalties. Not very good for them. As we're just going to follow a safety car. Empty Loman's out. 4 laps in, there's a safety car. This is going to be a long race if this keeps happening. As FNCO goes alongside the safety car. And they go through Marcus and Beckett's. The safety car seems to be staying out another lap. Lap 5 will be under safety car conditions as well. While YT6 can catch up. See the massive pack form there. There it is. The massive pack. As David gets a penalty. Collision with C1. Everyone's getting penalties. Under the safety car. And as we follow RT attacks, one of the ones who got hit by his teammate. He's down the old pitch straight, trying to catch up to the safety car as quickly as possible. As David pits, everyone's going to overtake him. Lap 5. As David, we see everyone just turning, trying to fix their wheels, trying to get their tyre temperatures up and keep them at a genuine rate. As the Ferrari, has he spun or has he pit? What has happened to the Ferrari? Oh, everyone knows that. Oh, wait, does the Ferrari have damage? The Ferrari has no front wing. He has to pit now, with the safety car most likely coming in. As we'll follow, FNCO still leading the race as YT6 gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings on the track. As we'll just follow these until the safety car starts to come in. I'm hoping there's no more penalties under the safety car. And they go down on the old pitch straight into the Cops corner. Under the safety car. Would be a very quick corner if it wasn't for the conditions at the moment. As many people on the mediums, there's 4 soft runners, excluding MVG Gloman, who is out. Of Lucky, Omar, who's in P4 after being P11. NSR, P7 after being P16. And it's HG Keith, who's in P9. The safety car is now in this lap. As you can see, race control has informed us. Safety car coming in this lap. As everyone's all bunched up, we believe. There you can see the back markers in the back of GT, YT Attack and David. And the safety car, there's the Ferrari going into the pits. It's not very good for him. Everyone gets a free position there. Safety car in this lap. Green flags. And we're back under the safety car. Ison has spun it. He has spun it. That's why there's yellow flags. He's got a penalty as well, but I'll follow. Oh, is there another collision? No, he's just going slow. There's just been overtakes. There's been many overtakes coming in. FNCO still leading after the safety car restart. 20 more laps to go of the race. It's HD Keith. He's on the hard, hoping he can get positions. Oh, YT6 makes a double move as NSR. What's happened to NSR? He got overtaken twice. That's not very good for him. GT, no front wing, having to pit. Not very good for him. David gets a penalty. There's yellow flags in sector 2. Nobody's like come off, have they? David's come off. David has come off. That's not very good news for him. As Keith can catch up. Got a nice onboard camera. Not seeing much, but there's more yellow flags. Has Omar spun it? He's the one that's gone out and he's gone down. No. There's just yellow flags. It's YT6 is out. Can we spot him? There he is. As we follow other drivers such as GT. Can we spot? Oh, there's another safety car. That there was where YT6 was planted. He's out after getting damage. Before I can see you in the safety car. I'm hearing there might be a restart. As YTFX and SOS are having a full-blown quiet. In the Discord channel, as we're going to see, SOS has been blamed for it. Many people. As FNCO hits, does he have damage? Doesn't appear to have. As Lucky starts to lead. Under the safety car. As there's not many people as we see SOS back there. Who is getting blamed for YTSX collision. Not very happy with it. As the safety car bunching everybody up again. Lucky now leading after FNCO's pit. Stop. People are not very happy. With anything that has happened. Another safety car, not very good for anybody. As the safety car is staying out for another lap. Race control has not given us anything to work with, so we believe it's the safety car is staying out another lap. Everyone's starting to warm their tyres up more and more. There's a Red Bull 2-3 at the moment, and Lucky he's having to pit quicker than them because he is on the soft compound, unless he can stretch them out really well. But the Red Bulls are looking very strong. Oh! I thought there might have been a crash, but no. I don't know, just pit. Thinking there might have been a crash. Philip Lynch has put himself up into P5. Safety car obviously staying out for the lap. As FNCO, Dom and NSR, the two McLaren teammates, sticking themselves in 7th and 8th position. You just watched as Lucky watches the back of the safety car. Panda and Max Murphy 1 watching the back of the cars in front of them. As there's the pack, there's the massive pack you can see in the background there while we're following Lucky. And the grid now, after the two people out, is Lucky, Panda, Max Murphy 1, SOS, who is getting blamed for the collision with YTSX, the Alpha Tower, who is out, Philip Lynch, Omar, NSR, FNCO, David, who also collided with his teammate, Dark Assault 666, who we've seen is very quick. As Max Murphy 1 now gets a penalty for a collision with Sus. Then we go on to Keith, GT, ISNO, C1, and then the two people that are YT, Itex, and NVG Lowman. And now we just wait until we find out when the safety car's coming in. That's terrible news for Max Murphy 1. Yes, he does have a penalty. Confirmed. As we see C1. Oh, there's another penalty. As ISNO slows down, and he does get a penalty for a collision with GT. Everyone up. The front runners, top three on 8 lap old tyres, sorry, and Omar and NSR following suit with them, not having to pit. As ISNO gets another penalty and another one, speeding in the pit lane. He's going to have a terrible finish with all those penalties. And the safety car stays out another lap. The race control thinks it's a very bad incident, making sure the safety car stays out for 3 laps approximately. As there's 16 more laps to go, and one more under a safety car, and we hope so they can meet action, and hopefully not another safety car. As we follow Omar on the softs, and NSR on the softs. We'll follow these two for a while. One of the only soft runners off the race, excluding Lucky, as Omar planted his Williams in P6 under the safety car, while his teammate had planted his Williams in P14. As it's pretty much, there's quite a few people 2x2 again. Matt Panda and Max Murph, the Red Bull 2x2, and NSR and FNCO with the McLaren 2x2. Into cops, safety car again. And the top 5, Lucky, Panda, Max Murph, Sus and Philip Lynch. Sus gets a 5-second penalty. Sus being not very nice in today's race, as he's got many penalties. Some severe. We'll check the penalties now. GT has 13, ISNO with the most. As the safety car comes in this lap, well, ISNO with 15 seconds. Sorry. As Philip Lynch now gets a penalty for collision with Sus. Sus and Philip Lynch have 10 seconds each. Nobody looks like they have damage. Nobody looks like they're pitting. Safety car obviously in this lap. Sus is not doing very good today, colliding with many people, giving them penalties. As Lucky can show the green flag whenever he wants to, and he has to show it now as GT gets another penalty. Yellow flags in sector 3 as GT retires from the session, as we follow Lucky and Panda battling. This could end brilliantly in Panda's favour, brilliantly in Lucky's favour, or horribly for both of them. As there's yellow flags. Oh, there's 2 people around of David and the Ferrari. Both of them round. We don't know what happened to them. But we're going to go back into this fight, as Lucky has pulled away a teensy bit, as Max Murphy 1 has fallen very far behind, trying to keep off Sus. Oh, another yellow flag! Was there a collision with Dark Assault and NSR? That's what we thought. We'll follow Lucky again. Panda 4 tenths away now. Very good camera for this fight. 5 tenths. If DRS was enabled, which it isn't because of the safety car. then Panda would have probably got Lucky, who the front top three are all on heading up old tyres, having to pit sooner rather than later. As we go on board with Panda, turning out to be a very quick driver. Lucky finally sets a new fastest up of a 1:37, which we all know can be beaten, as we've seen in quali. And even medium tyres can go into the 1:27s. Maybe not, but 1:28s most definitely. And many people are getting overtaken, many position changes. 3 people out of this GP this time of GT. The 2 Hasses, Sus gets another 3-second time penalty as he does concede the position to Philip Lynch. Max Mofa1 has built a generic gap. He's 3 seconds away from absolutely everybody. If he can keep himself in this race, then that's very, very good for him. P3, but this is a question that we all need to know. Can Panda move himself into P1 on that 12? Maybe that 13? When DRS is enabled, finally. When DRS is enabled, can we see Panda with an overtake? He is very, very close to Lucky in the Aston Martin, the only Aston Martin on the grid. Lucky pits this lap as we don't see many more people pitting. Panda continues. DRS finally enabled now as Lucky pits, Sus pits, and we believe Panda will get the right of way in the Red Bull garage with him. Yellow flags in sector 3. That David with a problem. It looks to be, look at his car, it's all beaten up and damaged. That's not very good for him. He's either going to have to retire sooner rather than later or just pit with hope for the best. Now it just depends, can Panda hold himself out, or does Panda let Max Mofa1 pit first? Obviously he can't pit here down the old pit straight, having to go around half of the Silverstone GP. Does Panda pit? Will there be a double stack, which might not be that common, which might not be that rare, as Max Mofa1 gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He has built a substantial gap between him and Philip, but Panda has built a substantial gap between him and Max. As 2 Red Bulls very quick, Panda obviously, and Max Murph showing up, not in the qualifying sessions, but in the race. Very well done to him, as Panda appears to be pitting now. As he comes through the final 2 turns, does he pit? No, he doesn't. Does Max Murphy 1 pit? No, he doesn't. As they are not on the soft, they can stretch their tyres out for longer when they need to. 12 laps to go. We're going to go on board with Max, a very, very quick driver. A very good driver at that. As GTV leaves the session, he's sacked it off, he's quit himself. We don't believe there's a restart. Not that I know of, at least. And there's a mini lock-up for Max Murphy 1. He has built like a 4.5 second gap to Dark Assault, and Panda's built a 5-second gap. We think their expected strategy. As FNCO From gets a 1:31, their expected strategy is either mediums stretch them out as long as they can to softs for the last 10 laps. As there's yellow flags in sector 2 and C1 retired, a very, very quick driver. A very quick driver out of the session, as he's most likely out in the exit of cops. There we see him. There's no safety car deployed. Max Murphy 1 pits this lap. His expected strategy is the softs. That's what we expect him to do. As Max Murphy 1 pits, Dark Assault can carry himself on because of his damage. What tyres does Max Murphy 1 go on to? It is the sauce we thought it was, as they have to serve his penalty. And he has a mini bit of front wing damage, making them replace his front wing. That's really not good for him. Put himself down in P7. Still good points, but not a P2. But most people will have to pit sooner rather than later, so he can get position, and he has a tyre advantage. With quick soft tyres, not worn a singular bit, as we'll follow his teammate of Panda, who built a very good gap. He has to pit soon as well. We expect him to pit now or the next lap to go on the soft for the last 10 or 9. And we'll see it happen soon, as that was Maximus' first and last pit stop. Panda does pit this lap, hoping not to get a penalty. Doesn't. Very well done on the pit lane, as we've seen many people get a speeding in the pit lane penalty, as Dark Assault gaining severe time on Panda. Can it be a quick pit stop? No wing damage, no penalties for Panda, as they quick stop. Very, very nice. Philip up pitting soon as well, as he gets a penalty. And Keith on the hards also having a penalty. On the topic of penalties, we check them out now, as ISNO has a 21-second penalty, as ISNO comes out ahead of Panda, and we see Dark Assault with 6 seconds, Philip with 13 seconds, Keith with 6 seconds, Max Murphy 1 with 3 seconds, Sloss with 8, FNCO with 3, Omar with 3, and David with 6. As there we see Lucky, who did pit well before Panda and Max Murph. He jumps Max Murph, he does not jump Panda. That is a crucial thing for a Red Bull. Very crucial for Red Bull. As they just hope Max Murphy can hold out his tyres for long enough, so when some people pit, he can catch up to them. He is within at least 30 seconds of Dark Assault. We're hoping for the Red Bulls, as they're a very strong team. Onto lap 17 by Dark Assault there. We've seen Sloss gets another penalty. As we see Panda, as Lucky gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Can Max Murph capitalise? Yes, he most likely can. We'll go with Max Murphy 1 with a very weird camera, sorry for the viewers. And we'll see Max Murph go. And we see Max Murphy wants a little intervene there. I haven't seen what's gone on for a little bit. Hopefully nothing too major. We'll follow Max Murph now. On board with him, it's Keith, Philip and Dark Assault, most likely pitting later on in this race. So Max Murphy 1 can get a high result. Same with Panda. Four people out of the session, only 9 laps to go, out of double digits. We see Max Murphy 1 go through Magazines and Beckers. He doesn't want to get a penalty, as he is quite far away, 20 seconds from his teammate. As Panda sets the fastest lap of 1:29.0 for Red Bull. is very, very good points for the Red Bull team as well. 18 laps finished by Dark Salt, as now everyone comes through. There Max Murph goes for his 18th lap finished. Only 8 laps to go. We'll go on board with Philip and it's Keith, who are having a mini battle. Into Cops. Philip is trying to defend. It's Keith is 2 tenths away. Very close. Into Maggots and Beck is very, very close. But Philip knows how to do Maggots and Beck better than Keith, as he gains a massive amount of time on him. But out of the top 3, we know one must pit. Most likely Philip. He cannot stretch those tyres out any longer than he should, otherwise he will most likely get a puncture. Keith, however, can stretch his tyres as he is on the hards, as Philip stays out another lap. Panda following very closely, obviously having the tyre advantage on the 2 drivers there, as Keith gets another penalty, as FNCO Thorn again closing in on Max Murphy. One does have more, no, they have the same penalties. If he overtakes him, then that means absolutely nothing. Tries to go around the outside into the chicane, can't. Tries to go around the outside again, cannot again. Max Murphy 1 stays in P5 as they go into turn 1. FNCO really wanting to get P5 off Max Murphy 1. As he tries to go around the outside, cannot again. Tries to switch back, cannot again. You can see a master of defence here. Or throw it from Sauce's point of view. See this massive battle. DRS wide open for FNCO. Can Max Murphy 1 hold it? No. Can he get the switchback? No, he cannot. FNCO finally gets it. Can Sauce get through? No, he cannot. Max Murphy 1 down to P6. As he's trying to go as quickly as possible. Into Cop. Doesn't want to let off, but kind of has to. As Panda overtakes Philip later up the field. As Panda goes into P2. Brilliant stuff from Panda. Yellow flags in sector 3 as Philip is round. That's not very good for him. No, it's not even Philip, it's Keith who is round. As Max Murphy 1 goes and makes the move on FNCO form. As there's a little collision there. Ten seconds away from it, Keith now. Yeah, it's Keith. That is Keith. As Panda trying to push onto Dark Assault. Will Dark Assault be able to hold out his tyres long enough? That is a genuine question. As IFNO will get disqualified sooner or later. As you see, he's got 22 seconds worth of penalties. As Keith leaves the session, there might be a restart unless he's just lagged out of the race. Dying moments of the race if FNC Reform makes the move on Max Murphy 1. Only 6 laps to go. There's been a very good little battle going on here. Can FNCO Thorm keep his tyres for approximately 15 laps worth? While Max Murphy 1 does not need he doesn't have that long of tyres used. He does have the DRS, can catch FNCO. Does he go for the move? He does go down the inside, but doesn't make the move stick. He is closer now as Max Murphy 1 gets a 3-second time penalty, which is not very good for him. He does exceed a bit of track limits. Sadly, he gets a penalty, which makes the move really irrelevant unless FNCO gets a penalty with him. As Keith is right there. Max Murphy 1 FNCO Thorm is out. We don't know what's happened to him. We'll follow Lucky, see if we can find FNCO Thorm. We'll see if we can find him. We don't know, we just saw him fly through everything. There he is, over there. We don't know if Mathematical can get blamed for that. As he now... He's now on the dying Keith. There is a safety car. He cannot make the overtake. He cannot make the overtake on the dying Keith. But safety car in the dying moments. As you can see, Mathematical only has a 6-second penalty. Panda obviously having none. Oh no! Panda has a penalty speeding in the pit lane. We're super confused. What he's trying to do, under the safety car, he might go for fresher tyres, but he does get a 5-second penalty. It's not very good. As he does go for the best penalty, he does go for the newer tyres. As Philip leads the Grand Prix at the current stage. Mathematical 1 also pits for fresh tyres. Everyone's pitting for fresh tyres under the safety car. Very smart and strategic from everyone. As Mathematical 1 only has 6 seconds worth of penalties. Will they serve it? That's the question. No, they won't. They will not serve. Philip disqualified from the session for ignoring yellow flags. That means he's finished. He's disqualified. Dark Assault, everyone's moved up in positions. As everyone's guaranteed at least half a point, as is half points this race if you haven't known already. So you see Max Murphy 1 come out of the pit lane. It's Keith not doing very well on hard tyres. But Phillips disqualified under the safety car. Let's hope there's no collisions which ruin the race completely. Dark Assault leads with Panda, then it's Keith, then Max Murphy 1. As we see what the owner of the league has just said. As we see, again, all the points not counting, as the owner saying not one driver deserves them. Again, another non-counting point. Disgraceful race from the owner, as quoted from him. That's not very good, but can they go for the pride under the safety car? In the announcements of the Discord, you find out, sadly, no points awarded. Once again, it is only pre-season, but safety car stays out into lap 23. Everyone was guaranteed points, well, at least half of one, but it wasn't meant to be. As the only two drivers not having penalties in the race is Lucky and NSR. And under the safety car, not much happening. We'll check out the race director. There's many pit stops. For two stops, sorry. As we see many drivers out. This is Rmrl Loman, one of the first to be out. Terminal damage, here you go. He is out. And then we see another DNF of YPATX terminal damage, Sus taking the blame for it. And under the safety car, there's been many collisions which resulted in 5-second penalties. Then the next DNF we find, not for a long time, but then it is C1 with terminal damage there. And we go down a while for another DNF here of FNCO Thom, and then the DSQ of Philip Lynch. We see all the drivers here. We're going to follow Dark Assault, the leader. Will it stick though, as Panda has, as they carried in this lap, we see there on the top, the grid has been very severely cut down. And you see the safety car has come in. Now it just depends who can get the better start. Most people are on the soft compound tyres, new one at least, as ISNO gets another penalty. Can the Red Bull? Oh, it's a brilliant start. We find Max Murphy 1 side by side. Lucky also passes them. Yellow flags in sector 3. Oh, Max Murphy 1 has fallen severely far behind as he passes Keith hopefully here. Yes, he does. Panda in the lead. Yellow flags in sector 1. Panda 2000 Junior leads the last 2 laps of the Grand Prix. A British Grand Prix Silverstone. A disgraceful race apparently. 6 DNFs is that? That is 6 DNFs. As Max Murphy 1 has dropped a position under the safety car restart to both Lucky and Sus as he overtakes its Keith on 17 lap old hard tyres. Final 2 laps, as long as Panda doesn't get another penalty, he has won it. As Sus has many more penalties, as long as Sus and Max Murphy 1 have the same penalties. Max Murphy 1 needs to pass him. Again, no points counted as well, but it's for the pride, as Panda can get some pride if he wins the Grand Prix. As he come into the penultimate lap, second to last one if you don't know what that means. As they come through, there's not going to be another overtake, we don't think. Some can make a move on Lucky. If they battle, Max Murphy 1 can capitalise, trying to get closer and closer. There most likely will be DRS on the last lap. If not, then there isn't. However, we see Max Murphy 1 in the background. If they're fighting, if there's a collision, if there's a DNF, Max Murphy 1 can bump his position up for the pride, for the glory, and to keep himself in the Red Bull team. As there will most definitely not be another safety car. As Sus gets a 3-second time penalty. Max Murphy 1 can now get P4. That's pretty good for him. The pride and the glory, obviously. As Max Murphy 1 just needs to hold himself out. Lucky sticking. Lucky wins. If the penalties stand, Lucky wins. I've just realised it. If the penalties stand how they are, DRS not enabled on the last lap, as I said, but Lucky will win the Grand Prix. Lucky will win, being clean the whole race. Haven't seen Lucky get a singular penalty, maybe a warning or 2. But that is mad how I've only just realised that as well. But Lucky will win the Grand Prix, getting P1 off Panda, as Panda gets P2 off Dark Assault if he sticks out this last lap. We have a Lucky closing in fast. Max Murphy 1 needs to stay within 3 seconds as well. He might not even get the P5. He just needs to get all his overtake down and used. But Sauce and Lucky are fighting. Sauce overtakes Lucky. It doesn't really matter, because Lucky will win if it stands this way. It depends on Max Murphy 1 really, as David gets another penalty in P10. But it all depends really on Max Murphy 1. Can he keep within 3 seconds of Sauce? Can he keep within 3 seconds of Sauce? That is a very good question. Yellow flag in sector 3. ISNO retires after having many penalties, as Panda will not be winning the Grand Prix as Lucky wins. Max Murphy 1 in P4. And that is race over, people, as the grid has changed. Not much actually, as Lucky wins because of all the penalties. That is amazing for him, for the glory of himself. Lucky won. That's race over. Darkest Hot getting driver of the day after finishing P3. And we see the drivers on the podium, as we see the Australian or New Zealand, I can never tell the difference, the Norwegian and the Belgian driver all on the podium. And that is amazing for the three drivers, sorry. As that's the top three there, you can see them. And that is race over, race finished. Many DNFs, one DSQ. And that is race over. That is it. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have fun.